It is largely from our past lifetimes. This cause has already been created. We cannot change it. But what we can do is control the condition. Cause is a constant. It cannot be changed. But condition is a variable. It can change. A condition, a catalytic condition, is what allows a cause to mature, to result in a consequence. For example, a seed is literally a cause. For this seed to mature, it needs the catalytic conditions of soil, sun, air, water. When all these conditions are present, the seed can mature. But we can control the seed, the cause, from maturing. We simply withhold the conditions. We withhold the sun, air, water, or soil. Without these, the seed cannot grow. The cause cannot mature because the proper conditions do not exist. So if we can do nothing else to diffuse this anger, we can control the conditions. There is an account of a practitioner who had very deep wisdom because he was a very good practitioner and had attained a good level of concentration. He was able to see shortly into the future, and he knew that at some point in a certain city in China, a certain person would kill him because he had killed that person in a previous lifetime. Knowing this, he also understood that although he had attained some achievement in his practice, he had not developed anywhere near the ability that if he was killed, he would not feel anger when this happened. Knowing what the conditions were, he knew he could control the conditions. So he avoided those conditions. He did not go to that particular city in China for many years. He continued to cultivate, to practice very sincerely, very diligently. He reached the level where he knew he could control the anger to where it would not arise. That he really, truly understood what was happening in those circumstances. And when he knew he would not get angry, he went to that city. He met the person who killed him. But since he had controlled the conditions, he was able to not give rise to anger. And he was able to stop the anger, the hatred, at that point. He did this not just for himself, but for the other person as well, because he understood if he gave rise to the anger, then he would kill that person in the future. This is a very high level of attainment, and most of us are unable to achieve this level. But we can still manage to control conditions on a much lesser basis. If we know somebody constantly irritates us, we can try to avoid them. And we can practice doing everything we can to control our anger. We can understand every time we become angry why we are becoming angry. That we are allowing ourselves to feel this way. The other person isn't doing it to us. We are doing it to ourselves. This is how we begin to control the conditions. Why do we become angry? We do so because we are attached to ourselves, to me, to the concept of I. Somebody says something. Maybe somebody criticizes us. This is a major problem that we have. We have many faults, but we do not like others to point them out to us. When somebody points out a fault, they, like we, often do so in a rather untactful manner, and they may hurt our feelings. Very few people are able to correct us, to criticize us, without our feeling resentful, feeling, I didn't do that. Why are you saying I did? Or maybe we feel guilty. Maybe we feel embarrassed. Subconsciously, we know we have this fault, but we don't like the other person pointing it out to us. Maybe they criticize us in front of others, and we were embarrassed. So we become defensive. We become angry. We defend ourselves. It is very difficult when somebody is criticizing us in front of others for us to very calmly say, you're absolutely right. I did do that. I'll try not to do it in the future. This is very difficult for us to do. Normally, what we do is start to defend ourselves. And we become angry. Maybe in defending ourselves, we start criticizing the other person. Instead of doing this, what we need to do is start to try to think about what the other person said. There can be two things going on here. Number one, we do have this fault. If we do, we can go off by ourselves. Maybe we go off with a friend whom we feel very comfortable with, and maybe we can talk about it with this friend. And we talk about this fault. And maybe